Hi everyone, it's Shari Carroll here for SimonsStamp.com with a box card idea for you for Valentine's. To build my box card, I'm starting off with a standard A2 card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when it's folded. And the first thing I want to do is cut 1/4 inch off one side. So I'll just put this in my trimmer and go ahead and cut. The next thing I'll do is to get out my scoreboard. And I'll flip my paper over and go ahead and place it down into the scoreboard. So this is the longer side of the paper. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and score 1/4 inch. So from the center fold, one side is scored 1/4 inch and the other side is cut 1/4 inch. So next I'll open the card up and put that cut edge right into the corner of the scoreboard. And from here, I'm going to score 3/4 inch. So 1, 2, 3. And now I'll go ahead and do my score line from there. This will make the side of the box. So now I'll find my center point, which is now at 4, and I'll go over 3/4 inch from that center and go ahead and score that, and that will be the other side of the box. Once I have that all scored, I'm going to go ahead and go back through and crease all these into folds, and I'll go back over the measurements so you can be a little more clear on where to cut and where to fold. Okay, so this is the center line of the card, and I'll go ahead and stand this up and go through the measurements. So the center line in the card, this is the long side. It has a 1/4 inch cut off, and then it's scored at 3/4 inch. From that center line, I have scored 3/4 inch and also 1/4 inch on the end. So now I'm ready to do some design work, and I have the tic-tac-toe heart die cut from Simon Says Stamp, and I want to die cut this into my card. I am placing it on the side of the card that has the 3/4 inch score line. I'll go ahead and tape this down in place with some painter's tape so I can run it through my die machine. I've also cut a piece of paper that will slide in behind, and this goes just in between those folds. I'll be using this second piece as a template to help me replace my hearts back into the inside of the card. So I want to make sure I have it lined up in between those fold lines. Then I'll go ahead and secure it down, and I'll run it all through my die cut machine. Okay, so I've done all my die cutting, and I've also cut some hearts from strips of colored cardstock. This is Simon Says Stamp colored cardstock, and I've cut those in 1-inch strips and have used the die all at once to cut out the colored hearts. So here's the template that I'll be using, and what I'll do is to make sure that it fits inside the folds on the other side of the card, and I'll secure this down with painter's tape. To secure my colored hearts, I'm just adding dots of my glue pen on the inside of those hearts. And once I have some glue down, now I can go ahead and start grabbing my colored cardstock hearts and just placing them right inside my little template that I've created. This makes it so easy to replace these right in the position that I need them for when the card's constructed. Now that my hearts are all glued down, I can go ahead and lift up my template and just go ahead and push my hearts through, just to make sure that I don't lift those up along with the template, and I can remove that. And I'll go ahead and close this up and show you how they align just perfectly with the outside. Okay, next for the tricky part. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to glue your box together. So I have the one side that's a 1/4 inch score line, and you can see that there. I'll go ahead and bend that down. I want to run my tape runner just down that 1/4 inch side. I don't want to go over the line, otherwise I'll have glue on the outside of my card. So now I'm going to fold it back on that other portion of that center line. So there's like 2 center lines pretty much on that one side. Now I can fold over that 3/4 inch scored line and just go ahead and press that down in place. And when I pop this back up, I have a box card. The design of this card is fantastic because it can be folded flat for mailing. To finish things off, I have die cut Love You from the small Love You set from Simon Says Stamp and added a couple Doodlebug enamel dots. I've created an additional card using some stamping and also the Heart in a Box die, also from Simon Says Stamp. To save some time, I've already scored my sea glass paper, and I've used the Heart in a Box die to cut some white cardstock, and this is how this fits right in the front of that card. It makes a really great window to start off with. So this was a white piece of Nina cardstock, and I've stamped my heart using the All About Love stamp set, and the stamps are designed to fit perfectly in the die, so I used the love that has the joy and hope, and I've stamped that with lipstick red ink, also from Simon Says Stamp. I'll be using the Artful Borders stamp set to stamp a pattern onto my die cut, and here I have the sea glass ink and the stripes from that stamp set, and I'll go ahead and just ink up my entire stamp, which I don't need to do the entire thing. I don't know why I did this, but I'll go ahead and add some ink, and I'll mainly work in the center from then on. But using the grid of my block, I'm going to go ahead and line that up to the edge and go ahead and stamp that down, and now I can just re-ink and do repeated stamping until I have the whole piece filled in. Okay, I have my frame with the heart. It's tacked down in my card, and here I'm just adding adhesive to the back of that center piece, and I'll make sure I get a good amount of adhesive in there. And I can go ahead and place it into that center and go ahead and press that down, and that will fit in the center of my window. Kind of nice. I love how the heart's kind of offset. And next I want to go ahead and peel up the little frame and add a little more additional adhesive to this since I just had it tacked down, and I'll just run my tape runner over those edges and make sure I get all 4 edges. And I have adhesive already on the heart, so now I can just replace this back in. So I kind of transferred it, put one in, took one out. And so you can see it again. I'll construct my box, so I'm adding adhesive just to that 1/4 inch score line, folding it over to where I can press that 3/4 inch scored piece right over to form the box. And I'll go ahead and pop this back up. To finish this off, I've added the word you and a die cut red heart plus some pearls. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial on how to make a box card. Thanks for watching.